into this week's Tapping into the Energy of Life. And what we're talking about is awareness. I understand what is awareness, but is awareness automatic? Or can we do something to become more aware? This is like a big question, and I'm really looking forward to some answers today. So please, someone enlighten me.
I think that maybe some of you have these ideas to answer Palak. So we would love to listen to you, and we hope that by the end of the video, Palak, you got it.
Yeah. No, seriously, I really mean it. I really want to know because so many times I don't know if I'm doing something, but you're just automatically aware of things. Okay, sometimes you're aware when you reflect back, when you look back at the past, and then you become aware of certain things. For example, your behavior or certain other people's behavior. Sometimes by comparison, you're aware, or you become aware of the situation, or things happen which makes you aware. So my question is, and I'm wondering actually, is it always automatic? Or can I do something to become more aware? Because I would love to become more aware, more cautious and live more cautiously and
Okay, in my opinion, you can train.
Yeah, I think
So
so
there's
too.
like a base level that you have of awareness or unawareness, and you can train. But the thing to train is to want to become more aware.
first
So
step.
some people don't really want to be aware of things. It's like, I'd rather not know. There is a card in the tarot, which is the Two of Swords, and it's called the False Peace. And it talks about the mind, and it's a lady with two swords like that, and she's blindfolded. It's like, I don't want to feel, and I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to know. And it's number two, so it's the challenge for the mind. The challenge for the mind, it's when there's clarity. The challenge is that there's something that I don't want to see, and I'd rather put it away or not see it or project it onto somebody else, and I don't want to know about this. So when that happens, when you don't want to know, there's no way that anybody can make you know. There's here in Spain we have a saying that is not there's no blinder person than somebody that doesn't want to see.
No, see it.
So that's the first thing. Do you want to see? Because if you don't want to, there's nothing that can make you see, not even God itself. So nothing. So if you want to, then you have most of the terrain gained, because then everything will be helping you to see that truth about you or about life or about the other person. But then the second thing that you can do if you want to, apart from just opening that field and saying, hey, universe, I want that information. The second thing is to train yourself to be more aware. And that is something, for example, with the tarot cards that I work and the students that come to my school, is to teach them how to connect to the symbolic language and how to learn to tap into intuition, to get to be more aware, to open their consciousness to that energy field and to be open to receive more information. So there basically four ways that we receive information from the outside. Let's call it outside because there's nothing outside of our being, but what we project.
Because we're all one.
We're all one. So the thing is that when we didn't want to see something, we projected it somewhere. We did put it away from our consciousness, so we have to place it. It doesn't vanish, it doesn't disappear, it continues to exist because we are one. But it appears to be outside. I am not that. I separate from it. So I usually project that onto others. So this person does something that I don't do and I don't like. It's not me, it's the other person. Or, for example, there's something that is painful, but I don't want to look at it because I'd rather tell myself this beautiful idea that everything is like flowery and nice, when you're in a relationship and it's like, there's something that is smelling. It's like, no, because he's so fancy. I mean, he's so nice. He's so loving. And it's like, maybe not, and it's like, you don't want to see the truth. So the first thing is to know that when you put it out there, the first thing is the information that comes from out there back inside to your awareness. So there are 4 ways that that happens. And one is the eyesight, so seeing, that is clairvoyance, so that you see clearly. So it's like, and we all have these 4. It's just that we don't practice them, and we always kind of be disrespectful with our intuition, and we say, no, that's not, I made it up, it's not really important data, nah, you know, but it's information. So what you see, it's important. So if you're walking down the street and you see an advertisement with a big word like "it's now," and it may be an answer, to, do I have to go somewhere? Do I have to go and do this? And then it's like, right now. And it's like the answer to your message. And that happens when you open a book, like your book, Palak, when you open it and it's like, or yours, Carol, with the Pearls of Wisdom, it's like you just open it and you get messages, and it's through the eyesight. So that's clairvoyance. Then there's the second one, which is clairaudience, which is you listen to, you go walking and there's a song and there's a message for you in the song, or a conversation, somebody talking, or you remember something from something you heard. So that's another. And there are people that have that one, that actually hear somebody talking in their heads. I don't do, it doesn't happen to me because that would freak me out. But some people do that. Then there's the feelings, like clear feeling or clear emotion.
There's
And
sense.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like you feel information from the environment. You kind of feel like your body's closing down, or it's opening, you're relaxed, or you feel tightness. You feel things and you feel it. And also emotions. So something you feel and you have an emotion, that's information for you. So that's the third path. And the fourth one, which is the most, like the trickiest, it's clear thought. So it's like having an idea, like your sister Palak, when she gets droppings, like messages from the universe, and you get a dropping and you pick it up.
Droppings.
Yeah, like droppings, like hints or clues. And that's very tricky, because we tend to have our own thoughts, and the ego speaks so high in the head. It's like, whoa. And these ideas and droppings, you have to listen carefully, like not carefully, but to pay attention, because the soul doesn't shout, is there very calmly bringing the info. And it's not thoughts that you have deduced yourself, like because of this, then that. It's an idea that comes and has no like logical deduction of what you were thinking before. It's a dropping. It's like it's dropped in your head and it's not yours. It's like I don't know, the name of somebody, it comes to your head, and you think about that person, and then that person rings the phone, and you have a conversation.
Oh,
Or
Yeah, that
that
happens.
happens to me all the time.
that happens all the
Yeah,
time. And it's
like
like,
all the time.
suddenly you think of someone and you say, oh, I have to phone this person, and you call that person and it's like, oh, I'm
Just
in this
Just
situation
thinking
and
about you,
I need
right?
help. So that happens. It's like a dropping. So that's clear thought. And it's not an image, it's not a sound, it's not a feeling, it's a thought. So there are those 4 ways to actually train. And how you train that? Well, the eyesight, you train it by looking at the places you are, looking at things, being aware of what you look at. And it's very related with the third chakra, or the power center. It's like, I can see, I control things, but not because you control them, but because you're aware of them. Then by paying attention to what you listen to, conversations, that's where you say, I don't want to engage into conversations about complaining about things, or guilt tripping or whatever. I take care of what I listen to, because that's also feeding my system. Or thought, how you train it, meditating, observing your thoughts, realizing what you're thinking and the relationship with what's happening, why you came to think about something. Sometimes you just start thinking, and an hour later you start thinking about something else, and you say, how did I get to this thought? If I started here, how did I get here? It's like, I wasn't thinking. It was
That
just like,
happens to me all the time. I mean, that's like a normal thing. You know, Thomas calls them my squirrels because I mean, I follow all these squirrels around, right? And then it'll be like, now how did I get there? You know,
here.
and you got to go 3 steps back to, and then go full circle to, oh, this is really how this relates, you know?
Exactly, that's the point. This is how it all relates. And it's like you realize how it relates, but you need to be aware. You need to pay attention. So training how to follow your thoughts, that's so important because otherwise you wouldn't get to know when it's a dropping because it's like how I got here, I don't know. It's like they're all droppings to you, even if you're just thinking about the shopping list or whatever. So
Well, and you know, I think just practicing, like Maria's talking about, practicing awareness, like when you're in a group of people, you know, just kind of sitting back quietly and watching the dynamics of everybody, I think it helps you create more awareness. And I feel like some people are different. There's different levels of that of awareness. Like when you walk into a room, some people can assess, you know, everything right away, kind of thing. Um, and you know, that's a lot of intuition as well. And you know, talking about seeing, you know, people's body language, you know, whether they're open or closed, their tone of voice. When you talk about hearing, I think is really key. Sometimes Thomas tells me I deliver things with not a very good tone of voice. um, you know, so and you know, whether you're happy, a happy tone of voice, you know, it's all that, that's all part of things that you observe um and process, you know, and then how you respond back, you know.
yeah. I think that the first thing is to want to train or to have an interest. Is like what because you
Totally.
cannot
Yeah.
train to be aware of everything. That doesn't work. It's like just to be aware in general. It doesn't work. So it's like I want to be aware of how this person is feeling about me. Or I want to be aware of how this affects me, eating this kind of food or smoking or having this interaction with this person, how it affects me. So you focus on something, you focus your awareness on something because it's important for you. So you want to know more about that and you have an interest in it. If that doesn't happen, you cannot really train awareness just in general. I just want to be aware of the whole, you know, like you might want to be aware of what's not conscious for you, how to get messages about something, but it's usually related to something that is going on in your life. You know, like I don't know how to choose where to go right now in my life or how to grow more professionally or how to, you know, improve my relationship with my mom or with my daughter or and that is where things you have an interest, you have a question, you have a calling for something and then information starts to come. But it's like training awareness is just having an interest and training your focus on something. I think that's very important.
And the more you do it, the more sharper it gets, I guess.
Yeah, and the more experience you get. For example, Carol was talking about body language. So the more you pay attention to that uh, with different kinds of people, the more aware you are. And so when somebody comes in and talks to you, you realize the body language automatically. So it's like when I trained to be a therapist, we trained our attention and what things meant. It's like if this person is doing that, is closing up, is worried. So you train to read the person because you're interested in it and you're having this person and this other person. You have a few clients and then you realize what's going on with this is more or less the same and you start learning. So yes, you can train.
You guys, that was interesting.
So Palak, how do you feel about the answer? Do you have an idea?
You know, actually, it's very exciting because now I want to just be out there tomorrow. Well, I can start from now on anyway. I want to be out there tomorrow, just quiet, observing, not lost in my thoughts. Because so many times we are here, but we are not here. Our body's present here, but the mind is busy thinking of something of the past or the future. So, but just to be present in the moment and observe, see what you're listening to, and I guess that's the way. Small steps.
Yeah.
Excited to try.
Yeah.
And, and and another important thing is our self-awareness. Not just so much as awareness outside, but having our own self-awareness. And I think that can be challenging at times. Like Thomas will say, "Do you realize you do this?" Sometimes, and it's like you really have to take a minute, or more than a minute, to do some serious self-reflection sometimes. And that's hard, you know. But I think it's important to be able to change, to dig into those areas of your self-awareness, and like Eckhart Tolle says, sit behind you and observe what's going on in your brain. How are you feeling? How's your gut feeling? All of those things to determine whether you are in the right space, in the right frame of mind. And if you're not, then you need to do something to improve, how you're feeling and what you're doing and where you are and all those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also like practices are very important. Like if you really want to be aware about something, it's like a willing to know that thing better. And I feel it like when you meet a lover, you want to know that person, you want to be there more. So I remember when I started learning with the cards, the tarot cards, I played with them all the time. I mean, I was a child, but I was like with them all the time, trying to understand what it meant and what it was and how it felt, and like reading the images, seeing them, the colors, and it was like I was paying attention to that because it was so amazing. So I think
Yeah,
also
I
following your
bet.
passion, like when you are in something that you really love, like a concert or something that you really love, all your attention is open wide to that, and you're there, present, as you were saying, Palak, you're present. So you're getting all in, of course, all that interests you, which is maybe
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
that what the other one is around. If you go to a concert with a friend and somebody says, "Did you watch that thing that was happening in the background with this lady? There was somebody there," and it's like, "No, I was so focused on the stage, and the singing." And some others can say, "Oh, there's an empty space over there. We can go on." And it's like, I didn't even see that. It's like because we all focus our attention on what we want. So that's, I think, really
Yeah.
important.
True.
Regarding self-awareness, when I trained to work on TV, I had to register myself, record my voice and my gestures. And so you really register it to later on watch it and learn from it. It's like, oh, I say this a lot. I do this a lot. I do this a lot.
Me too.
And,
I do too. But that's
yeah,
good. It's better than this way.
yeah, that's
It's
much
better to
better.
be going yes as opposed to no, right?
Yeah. And then there are these little phrases that we use to fill in the gaps to say, or,
Mm.
I guess, or whatever, those um, words and phrases that you use, you realize that when you register yourself. So I think that's also the idea behind journaling. When you're journaling,
Journaling. I was going to say that. Yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah. That's
there.
one way.
So what's your experience with journaling, Palak?
Oh my God. Since childhood, it's funny you ask that. Since childhood, I've been just writing. Um, I used to write down my thoughts, my feelings, my anger, my surprise, my whatever. Everything was journaled as a kid. I was always journaling. And what
Wow.
I realized that it helped me understand what I was journaling about better. So I guess it's like you're having a conversation with someone and someone is explaining to you, but the explanation comes in. And that to answer your question, Carol, is what Maria has just answered. So journaling for me is one way of self-awareness Because when I'm writing down my feelings, how I'm feeling about a situation, and I'm writing down, then I'm not only expressing my views, I'm also thinking about other perspectives, the other person's point of view. And I'm writing that down too. Yeah, I do understand that the other person feels it's like this, and my perspective is this, but the other person, I do understand the other person's perspective is this. And it becomes so easy to see in black and white. It's just pouring and everything just comes out so clearly, and it's understandable, and you find a balance and a peaceful place in between. It's very soothing for me. Journaling is one thing for self-awareness. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I have a really close friend, Deb, and she has journaled her entire life too. I mean, she's got like stacks of books. I imagine you do too.
Oh,
What was really cool when I first met her, though, the journal that she was working on, and I had kind of known her, but then all of a sudden we just got a really good connection, and then we started really hanging out together. And I think one of the first time I went over to her house, we were sitting out having a little wine and sitting out on her porch talking and everything. And she talked about journaling. And I had already met Thomas at this point. She goes and gets her journal, and on the front page, like she like pastes pictures in her journal and everything. They're actually quite works of art almost. She had a big sailboat on the front of her journal, and I'm telling her about how Thomas and I are going to go sailing,
oh
right?
my
She's
goodness.
like, so it's just really interesting, right?
Very young.
But I love that, and I have done a little bit of that, but that's something I have to say that I really don't do much, and I think it's a very valuable tool. So I love that you do that,
There's
and
one
that's
thing
why you're
very
probably a
interesting.
good writer.
Yeah, I want to share something very interesting. Just a couple of days ago, I found this sheet of paper with scribbled handwriting in pencil. And you know what the date says? Hold on. It says 23rd July 1984. It was when I was in school. I'd scribbled something down. I was impressed. I read some in literature, as we had that as a subject. I read something written down by an author called, I think, S. Radhakrishnan. And I won't go through the content, but at the end, I'd written that I love, what? I want to become a philosopher one day. And little did I know, my graduation was majoring in philosophy. I don't even know how, what? It's like me,
Wait, what grade were you in when you wrote that? Where were you in
1984.
84?
Maybe I was in my, I don't know, 9th, 10th, 11th. I'm not sure. 9th, 10th, 11th. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe
So
11th.
you hadn't gone to college yet.
I was in high school
So
till
then
then. Till then, I
you
was in
wrote
high
that. See?
school. And just imagine when I go to college, I just got an opening in or an entry in doing majoring in philosophy. And if honestly, now I understand it was destined because it just opened up my thoughts, my perspective changed. Like I was telling in one of the earlier videos, I understood there is value in differences. There's beauty in differences. Otherwise, life can be so monotonous and boring. And so I can't believe. So when you're journaling, when you look back at your older journals, you are so surprised yourself, and it makes you understand uh, yourself as how you've grown over the years, plus synchronicities with the universe.
Yeah. That's why I
Yeah.
keep
And
saying,
plus Maria always says about, you are manifesting all the time. And that was a very early manifestation for you and then,
Real life.
and
Yeah.
you were working towards that, and then it came to fruition, and yeah, I
Yeah, it
love
was
it.
just a moment that I was fascinated with philosophy because of the thoughts of this writer at that age in school. And well, I don't know. It
yeah,
just happened, I guess. Sometimes we
it's
can't make sense
amazing.
of it. But
Yeah, it's
anyway.
amazing how passion just builds up with something that you really love, and then it takes like it changes the course of your life, because it's like, or changes it or models it or drives it,
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah,
that passion is very
yeah,
that I think it's because you wanted to be more aware of what philosophy was. So
yeah,
that was
yeah,
like, oh, this feeds
yeah,
me, this nurtured me, this
yeah,
challenges
yeah,
me. Yeah, that's
yeah,
amazing.
true. So if you've liked our podcast today, why don't you like, share, and subscribe?